Some books get recommended so much online they almost become untouchable. Red Rising is one of those books. Some people call it one of the greatest sci-fis ever written. Some say it's changed their life. Some rank it above almost everything else. But then there's the other side. People call it overrated, poorly written, juvenile, and even misogynistic. So after finally reading it myself, I wanted to answer one question. Is Red Rising actually overrated? The weird thing is that I understand both sides. I just read Red Rising, and in this video I'm going to talk about why people hate this book, why some people adore it and love it, why it made many young men start reading, and I'm also going to talk about the criticisms and whether the hype about this book is actually true. Okay, if you somehow haven't read the story or you want to know what it's about, then Red Rising is placed in a future where the society is broken into a Roman hierarchy where people are sourced into colors, where there's golds, which are genetically enhanced rulers who are at the top, reds, and other colors going down to the bottom where the red is the lowest color. Darrow, our main character, is a young man about 15 years old. He already has a wife and is working in mines, doing the most dangerous job in the planet. He's really strong and smart and quick, but he's a red, and because of this, he's treated unfairly, and when he finds out that his whole life is based on a lie and many other tragic things happen to him, he and some others plot a revenge, and he starts infiltrating the golds as one of them. This is a story about revenge, hierarchy, society, and even love. We see classic plot points where there's a lot of combat and battle and even arenas, and the book is prop full of plot twists. The first reason people love this book is because it's really fast. Many young men on, for example, TikTok and Instagram Reels have had this book as their opening into reading, and I understand why. It's fast-paced, full of plot twists, infiltration, revenge, but also love and anguish and tragedy. While Darrow is getting stronger but also angrier, we start rooting for him and we want to see him succeed. Darrow is a young man and he's struggling with anger issues, and even though he seems really strong at times, he's also a flawed person, and this resonates with a lot of young men especially. The book flows and it has cinematic dialogue and scenes with arenas and combat and inspiring speeches that almost make you feel like you're in the universe itself. And even though the dialogue is quite simple, which I'm gonna talk about later, it still flows and makes you interested all the way through. Now, why is this book, which is so full of action, combat, and speeches, being disliked on social media? Well, I think there's a few reasons, and I do understand them. The book is written simply, as I just said. There isn't beautiful prose or extremely beautiful speeches, and the dialogue is quite simple and straightforward. But I think that's the meaning of the book. It's not supposed to be analyzed by literary historians or people with a big degree in fiction. It's supposed to be enjoyed and it's supposed to be read fast. If you're a person who loves reading classics and books that are extremely beautiful in the way it's written, like for example Dune, which is a classic sci-fi book, then this book is going to seem simple. People say that this book is actually just a young adult book, which is books that are written for younger people and people who can't read as good as adults. And at least in the first book, which is the book I've read all the way, it does look like a young adult book. There are themes that are a bit too dark for young people, but the writing style is easy to comprehend. The Roman system is really overused in today's sci-fi and fantasy books. And Darrow can oftentimes feel like he's almost invincible and the author is just making him unstoppable, unbreakable, and that no matter what happens, there's actually no real consequences for him. He's getting too idealized, and this is a basic young adult trope, including the fact that Darrow is a young man. And this brings us into the misogynistic criticisms of the book. I personally don't believe that the book is misogynistic or that the author is a misogynist, but the book does show misogynistic tendencies. But even though a book is showing in the story that there is misogyny and maybe that the characters have different views of women and other people than we do, it doesn't mean that the book is misogynistic or is racist. It just means that the society and people in this book has different views than us. Other people are saying that there's not really any development in the female characters, and many of the female characters in this book aren't really that important and shown. But even though I haven't read the later books, I have heard and I've read that it does get better and there's a lot more representation after a while. I think Red Rising divides readers for one simple reason, and that is that people want different things from books. Some want beautiful writing, some want deep philosophy, some want originality, and some want pure adrenaline. Red Rising is heavily leaning towards adrenaline. So if you value that, you may love it. If not, you may wonder what the hype is all about. So, is this book overrated like many people say it is? Well, I don't think it really is. And this is because the book is often sold on BookTok and BookTube that the book is the best science fiction book ever written, that it's the deepest story ever written, or the deepest characterization, and this is simply not true. But what it is extremely entertaining. It's fast-paced and just the fun read that you're looking for if you're in a reading slump. So when people say it's the best book ever written, that's false. And it makes you overhyped. And when you're overhyped and you're going into something, it makes you expect too much. And when you don't meet those expectations, you might feel that it's worse than it actually is.